One for the cops. I've not driven this thing in a while, you guys. As you guys can probably tell, we got a very stiff suspension here. We got a BMR full coilover suspension. We got a 6-speed, as you guys can see. Got an upgrade TR6060 transmission in here. And yeah, the man's mission, just as God intended. Actually, when I was building this car, my mechanic tried to convince me to go a 3-speed automatic with an overdrive. But I told him, I like the manual, so I'm going to keep the manual. Alright, this is getting annoying. Sorry. Gotta unplug that. But yeah, you guys, welcome to my 10-year review of this car. I bought this car brand new in 2009. July 2009, right before I went to Iraq when I was in the Army. So I've had this exactly 10 years now. Today, as of this filming, is July 4th, America Day. And yeah, we're just gonna take this out to the canyons real quick, do a little cinematic shoot, which you guys probably already saw at the beginning of this video. And then we'll bring it back. This car is 10 years old and it has 31,736 miles on it. It's not quite as easy to downshift in this as it is on a bike. You got 3 pedals to deal with and rev match. This car has so much horsepower that at the low RPMs like this, traction control kicks in every time. This was definitely my dream car when I bought it. I saved up for it. You guys don't know the story. I saved up for it for 3 years. I was saving, and I put down a big chunk of change. Oh, and it doesn't like having the AC on. It like idles super high when it has the AC on. But luckily it's not too hot out today. Let's go, lights green. We have some Mickey Thompson ET Street drag radials on the back, so keeps the car nice and planted. Those are the best drag radials I've ever owned, so that's why I put them on. I'm not as tall as Walterific, so hopefully this is a good mount. It's on a head strap mount on the top of my head, and if it was Walterific, we'd be way up here in the ceiling. But since I'm short, hopefully it's a good angle for you guys. When I saw the movie Gone in 60 Seconds, that's when I first fell in love with Mustangs. Hopefully you guys can hear that cam. There goes traction control, killing it. As you guys can see, the speedometer only goes up to 160. When I got the car, it used to be governed at 155, but obviously whenever you tune it and stuff, and all the performance parts I have on there, that governor has been long gone. So it goes up to 160, and then you don't know how fast you're doing after that. I would guess the top speed I've gotten in this is somewhere around 180, 185. But yeah, it's hard to tell when the speedometer stops at 160. When I first bought the car, it was definitely my my dream car, and I put down a huge chunk of money and then financed the rest. And then I was deployed to Iraq, so I was making a ton of money, so I paid it off in 11 months. Yeah, I was making like triple payments on it. So I paid it off super fast. And this car has been a very good car. Like, there's been no major issues, nothing that wasn't my own doing. There was one time when we were getting the new fuel system done, it was getting fully built. I picked it up from the mechanic a couple days early. Well, I rushed him to get it done, and because I had rushed him, he had pinched the return line on the fuel system. It was running that day like it was running out of gas. I took it back to him, and he figured out what it was and fixed it. It wasn't that big of an issue, but I needed it for that weekend because I didn't have another car at the time, and I was picking up a friend at the airport. But we got the cool Raxium taillights on there, and we got a CTSV behind us. You guys saw the taillights in the beginning with the cinematics. So yeah, this was my dream car. So I first fell in love with Mustangs when I saw Gone in 60 Seconds, and then they came out with it again in 2007, and I was like, yep, that's the car I'm gonna get. So that's when I started saving up, and then I bought this in 2009. And I set it up to be a drag racing car and an autocross car, so it can do both. It has adjustable suspension. BMR's double adjustable suspension, so you can adjust compression and rebound individually. And yeah, that suspension right now is somewhere in the middle, but it's still right stiff. Look at these few ropes. Yeah. So yeah, I have the motors fully built. We got pistons, we got rods, we got cams, fully built motor, ported, and we have a upgraded supercharger on there. Currently is the 3.6 liter Kenny Bell, and yeah, it makes tons of horsepower. At sea level and on 93 octane, it's about 800 horsepower. At this altitude, we're about a mile above sea level, and we only have 91 octane here, so it makes about 750 here, which ironically is only 10 horsepower away from the new Shelby GT500, the 2020, that's going to come out next year. They're at 760 horsepower, but that one has a dual clutch automatic transmission, so there's no manual option as of yet. If they come out with a manual option, I'll consider it, but I like the looks of this way better than I do the new one. This has like the retro styling, and yeah, I just think it looks way better than the new body style. I would, however, like to race one. Yeah, so as soon as I see one on the streets, I'll definitely race it. So I'm sure the new one that's coming out, I'm sure it's just a pulley and a tune away from 1,000 horsepower. The new 5 liter and then the 5.2 liter, they just make power so easily. This is a 5.4 liter, and I prefer the 5.4 liter because it's a much deeper sound. The 5.0 and then the 5.2, they have a like higher pitch sound. Like, I call it a Chewbacca noise. It's like whenever they get into the higher RPMs. This one, it just has a low, deep rumble to it. And yeah, I don't know, I prefer this motor. I wish they had the technology that they do have now. They could put inside the 5.4 or even the 5.8. I'm sure they'll come out with one of those motors again. Alright, I'm gonna stop up here and film some cinematics, and then I will be right back, you guys. So yeah, here you guys go. Here's the engine bay. Here's the giant 3.6 liter Kenny Bell supercharger, upgraded radiator, upgraded heat exchanger, huge throttle, huge intake tube there, upgraded throttle body, and right now we have the 4-inch pulley on there, and that's what makes 750. Then we got the little plaque right here, built, who is built by, and yeah. So with the 4-inch pulley there, it'll make, that's what it makes, 750 horsepower. And then we got 2 smaller pulleys, and those are race gas only though, so those make a lot more horsepower. Anyway, what you say we close this up and get on with the video. Maybe we'll get a chance to hit the throttle a little bit on the way back. This is pretty low too. The suspension lowered it about 1.5 inches, and the GT500 is normally 1 inch lower than the normal Mustang of that time period. So, hi Copper, don't look at me. Just sitting here minding my own business. So yeah, so this is lowered 1.5 inches from that, so it's now 2.5 inches lower than the that Camaro just trying to rev at me, than the standard Mustang. Wonder if I set off any car alarms. Oh yeah. Oh man, I've thought about selling this car a few times. Whenever I lost a job, I got laid off or something, thought about selling it for money, but I'm glad I kept it, because this red stripe edition is one of 300. There's only 300 made with the red stripes, and I think like 200 of them were black and red, and the rest were white and red. So it's a very rare car. So if I hold on to it, it's 10 years old now, so if I hold on to it for 20 more years, it should be worth a decent amount of money. At least that's what I'm hoping. If it was stock, if I had kept it stock, it would have been worth a lot more. But we know, you know, nobody could keep anything stock. You always got to modify it and make it how you want it. The original hood on this was actually didn't have the ram air scoops on it, so this hood has the ram air scoops, which the Super Snake and the GT500 KR, both of those had the ram air scoop hoods. So that's what inspired me to get this hood here. And yeah, so currently on a good day we'll get 14 miles per gallon. But this is my toy, so I don't really care about gas mileage on it. And under full throttle, I mean, it'll get like 4 or 5 miles a gallon. So there's tons and tons of mods. We got Cook's 1 7/8 long tube headers, and a MagnaFlow exhaust, sounds amazing. I had a Borla exhaust on here before, and those headers were only 1.5 inches, and they weren't big enough for as much power as I wanted. So we took those off in favor of the Cook's headers. And these came with Brembo brakes from the factory. We still have those on. Someday we do need to upgrade those. So future mods, we need to upgrade the brakes someday. And I would actually would consider changing the supercharger out for one of two options. So the current supercharger is made by Kenny Bell and is 3.6 liters. And the one supercharger that I would switch it out for... Oh, there's a pit bull in there. Hi, buddies. There, you guys can see him hopefully. The supercharger I would consider changing it out for is the VMP Gen 3R supercharger. That is only 2.65 liters, so it's a full liter smaller supercharger, but we should be able to make similar horsepower and a little more torque, I think. Similar to a little more torque. The thing about the VMPs is they have a lot of torque, and that torque is what you feel like when you hit it. That's what like pushes you back in the seat. So that's what I would consider. And then the other option I would consider, which I should have done from the beginning, is making this a twin turbo car. They got the Helion twin turbo kit. I don't know if they still make it or not. They probably do. But that is the quickest way to get 1,000 horsepower on pump gas, because this supercharger takes 100 horsepower to spin the supercharger, but then it gives you back that and more. So without the supercharger and on 93 still, we would be, even at the same boost level, we would be at 100 more horsepower at least. So that would put us at 850 horsepower on pump gas. And then turbochargers is so much easier to switch up the boost. You just get yourself a little boost controller or something, little knob, you can turn up the boost right there on the fly. With the supercharger, I have to stop, I have to change out the gas to race gas, and then I gotta change out the pulley to one of the smaller pulleys, and that's a pain. That's probably like, I don't know, a 45-minute job at least. Here's the pit bull, you guys. He sticks his head out again. Come on, puppy. There you are. Oh, buddy. Hi, buddy. I used to hate turbos. Then I realized it's all about the size of the turbo compared to the size of the engine. So there's two kits that Helion makes. One's like a 61mm and one's a 65mm twin turbo. Both are twin turbo sets. The 61 I think makes 900 something horsepower, and the 66mm makes well over 1,000. But with the bigger turbo, you're gonna have more lag. So you put your foot in it. I was in too high of a gear there. But you put your foot in it and it's lag. So with the smaller turbo, you're gonna make less peak power, but the power's gonna come on sooner. And I used to hate turbos until I got my truck. And that's when I realized if you have a balance between the two, you have a good hit of horsepower, and then you have good top end power too. And yeah, so that's what I would do. I would probably get the 66 because I know how to brake boost. I can do that pretty well. And for drag racing or street racing, which is what I did a lot of this in the past, not so much anymore because the cops here will chase you and they will impound your car and take your license and all kinds of stuff, charge you with a felony. So I haven't really done that in a while, but I think that would be the better setup for drag racing and street racing. There we go. Woo! Had to make that light. I was gonna do a pull for you guys here in a second. But that works for me. Alright, we had to downshift real quick there. So yeah, that's probably what I would do if I ever did change it up, but that's going to be a ton of money. The kit itself is like $7 grand, and I could probably sell this supercharger for like $6 grand. So it'd be pretty negligible there. And then just all the labor and stuff, I'd have to get new headers and stuff, and new exhaust. So it'd be a few grand to get that conversion done, but the labor would be the most part. Alright, once we turn onto this road here, what do you guys say we do a daily 100 in the Shelby? Alright, let's go. Daily 100 time. Ready? There's well over 100. Locked up on me. Thank you for getting out of the way. There you guys go. Daily 100 in the GT500. And I still haven't gotten it retuned for this altitude, but it's one of those smart tunes that like learns as it goes. And before I did leave the East Coast, my mechanic did take out some timing. He took out 2 degrees of timing to compensate for the fuel and the altitude here. A lot of bikes out today, nice. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys right now. Thanks for joining me on this 10-year review of my 2009 Shelby GT500. It still today is one of my dream cars, but there are a few I want some more. A few I want more than this, but this is my dream car. I'm gonna hold on to it for a long time. If you guys like today's video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, and just hit it anyway, just for the Shelby. And leave me a comment, let me know what you think. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Deuces.